Hello, and welcome to the Go There Do That podcast. My name is Ethan, and I'm here with Heather today. And we're just going to have a little bit of a check-in podcast today because on our last podcast, we had a life update. This is now a check-in. We were going to Colorado before our previous podcast, but now we are back.
Yeah.
As of a week ago.
We've been to Colorado.
We've been there now.
We transitioned from the go there do that to been there done that. Specifically in relation to Colorado.
Yeah.
Which is like the point, right? Yeah.
Yep. Not to say we won't go back there.
No, I have a list in my notes app of things to do next time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was great. But that's just part of the check-in because we also announced on the last podcast that we would be doing perspectives and reflections on August 15th, which is recapping the entire 4 years of our traveling, excluding Colorado. Mm-hmm. So Colorado will be posted intermittently throughout this, but we'll also have consistency now with the recounting of all of our adventures. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be fun. Well, it's fun for us to watch.
Yeah.
So
it's been fun.
Yeah. But I am in this little limbo state of saying, well, that's not until August.
Yeah, that's like, we have about 2 more days of that. So, and then it's like, gotta hit the pedal to the metal. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how are you with where you're at with Go There Do That?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot to do. I don't have near as much as you do to do. But yeah, I have like a lot of blogs to do, like website updates. I want to like update our About Me section on the website. And yeah, just a lot of like little like admin type tasks. And then yeah, like writing up blogs and stuff I have to do. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once I get started into it, it'll be like fun. Yeah, I just have trouble sometimes. Which, I mean, we talked about this earlier, though, is like we both kind of have this like internalized procrastination clock. And so it's like you'll put it off for as long as you can, and then until you make it like urgent, and then you get it all done. Yeah. There's been very few instances where I didn't get it all done. You know, not that can't happen, but I feel confident in my abilities to work well under pressure, I guess. But yeah, my kind of like mark is like, yeah, August 1st. I'm like, okay, it's August. Like you gotta get going.
Just make sure everything's there. It's going to be a continuous, ongoing, forever process.
Yeah. It's just a matter, just like getting ahead of things so that it doesn't catch up to you. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this week was really busy this week and I didn't have time to work on this. And then, but it's like due, you know?
Yeah.
But so it's more like trying to get ahead of the game than feeling like you're behind right now. Yeah.
But in viewing this as like a sort of, this is just one part, this podcast, one part of the whole entire thing, story. So I was just trying to get back to
doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, because we didn't do them for a long time because it was a little bit crazy. And then we did a life update podcast to like get it out there. But then it's like, then we were in Colorado. So not filming a podcast there. So now we're kind of getting back into the groove of consistency in this aspect too of like recording podcasts. Yeah.
But one thing will be consistent. That's perspectives and reflections.
Yeah. If nothing else is, then that will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I am a little busy,
Yeah.
with things. But that's, it's interesting to see me right now. I'm sort of appreciating the moments before I tell myself things are going to happen.
It's time to go. Yeah. Yeah. Time to pick things up.
Yeah. Because, I did get back. A little bit of work. A little bit of hanging out with friends. So,
Yeah.
And your mom was still around watching O'Malley. So,
Yeah.
it was good to relax after Colorado.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. So you don't get like burn yourself out and get sick and stuff. And before we left, you got like just about 5 weeks. I think you still have to edit a reflections, and then we need to record a podcast for that that park. I think it's Lake Somerville. But before we left for Colorado, you were like almost 5 full complete, like
9 episodes total.
Right.
So that'd be about 9 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, because you hadn't finished the 10th one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 9 weeks ahead. And then, but then we want to stay ahead because that's easy enough to lose ground on.
So that's that. I mean, I don't know how to hype up perspectives and reflections. It's just kind of...
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to
watch.
explain until you like see it. But it's just their perspectives is like your storytelling of the footage of like, a certain like park we went to or whatever we were doing, So it starts off with us going to state parks because that's like how we started, was just like going, not even a whole weekend, but just like a Saturday that I could book. And then just like trying that out. And then, it'll escalate into some of our bigger trips like Zion and Big Bend, Alaska, stuff like that. So like your storytelling, because there's a lot of footage that I've never seen even, but you've like recorded it, like everything that we've done. And so, you have done some videos previously, like for Alaska and stuff, but this is like all new type of stuff. And then, anyways, so perspectives, and then reflections is us looking back on that and reflecting on it and kind of like what that means to us now. And trying to remember what it meant to us then. It is easy enough to put yourself into those feelings and emotions when you're like watching the footage and looking at yourself 4 years ago and you're like, oh, that's right.
It's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
From 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But I think it helps explain a little bit, I guess, about how we...
Someone's life. Just 2 people.
Yeah, I guess it's basically like a little documentary.
Little slice of life.
Yeah.
Like the thing that makes us happy, we're packaging it up.
Yeah.
And just...
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's my life, so of course I think it's interesting, but I also really like enjoy things where you kind of get to like peek into someone's like just like human existence a little bit. And granted, like it's like us traveling, but it's still just like us, It's not like you recording like all the everyday mundane moments in our lives, but it's like there's plenty of everyday mundane moments in traveling even, it's not always skydiving or going on crazy hikes, It's like all those little moments too of just like figuring out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's interesting in that because it's like, yeah, you get to peer into that side of it a bit.
Well, you don't have to be the most extreme.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the most laid back.
Yeah.
You know, you can do a bit of both.
Yeah.
And I think the real cool thing about this is the amount of time that's passed because I wasn't able to edit these things. I say I wasn't able to. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, probably both. You
Yeah.
weren't ready or able because, yeah, like
Just-
even just watching, like you've gotten so much done, you know, with the time that you've had. Like for the most part, you've been like working very hard, like weekdays, weekends. But then, yeah, there's no way that because I've seen you work on stuff and then you're like, yeah, 5 events, kind of like 5 trips in. And I'm like, there's no way you could have done this before. Like you literally did not have time.
Yeah.
Or it would have not been very good.
Yeah.
Like you could have slapped something together for sure, but it wouldn't be very good.
Yeah.
And I think you like care about it and you want to be able to spend the time on it to make it something you're proud of, which is fair because it's your footage, our lives, you know.
What's more personal than that?
Yeah, exactly.
And
you don't want to just slop it together.
You want it to be good, but then it's how do you make time? But that's why I think in this particular moment in time is just very. There's a certain appreciation I have.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very unique time in our lives. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I catch myself just like pausing and being grateful for like this time because I know it won't last forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. So that's, I don't know what feeling that is. It's like a, you know, the eye of the storm. It's like between moves, like you're moving to a new house or something.
Yeah, you're almost like saving up energy because you know you're about to expend a lot of energy.
Like all your boxes are put up.
Yeah.
In the house that you used to live in, and you're still in that house. You're taking one last little couch
look
nap
around
or something. Yeah, you sit down.
Yeah.
For a second.
And you kind of look around and take it in. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And this time we can't hire movers. We have to move everything ourselves.
We got to do it ourselves, yeah.
Yeah. That's the feeling. And so then, I guess, hopefully someone watches it and then says it's cool, and then I'll say thanks. What information would you like? You know, what insight? I would like to share this experience with you in some other way as well. You know.
Yeah.
Like have a question. If we post, I'm working on 2 Colorado trailers as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I'm hoping that creates questions, the trailer. And then as I edit, I'll be like, oh, I'll make sure at this park, whatever, we're listing all these different things. People might have questions and we might have answers later on.
Oh, okay.
In little episodes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Same with perspectives or reflections. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have a lot of questions probably.
Mm-hmm.
As in, I don't know. I'm including pretty much everything I can though, because you only have one time to go back through everything, really.
Right.
And so by question, I meant like I'm hoping there's no like. With how I shot it at the time, I'm including as much information and trying to tell the story as best as I can because I can't go back and shoot. I do ask my past self, oh, why didn't you just get this? You know, when it's like, I don't know why I didn't record
You
that
don't
part.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it felt so different, like, going to Colorado, because I felt, like, more aware of just, like, thinking about those questions and, like, what we might want to include and capture and stuff, and not always. I feel like you recorded, well, I could be wrong. I felt like you were recorded, I mean, you were, like, more intentional about recording.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And I still got a lot. Yeah. It's weird. But we did do a lot. So I'm hoping Colorado can be posted enough parallel with the new stuff. And then we have...
Well, the old stuff, really.
Or with the old...
Yeah.
The old new stuff, yeah.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, I think Colorado is very important for us to do, because, yeah, it is kind of like this transition where we're kind of like going back and telling our story, and it's like, oh, this is what we've done. So it's like, if we weren't still... But if that was all, like, in the rear view in the past, and then, like, we weren't still doing stuff new, too, it would feel kind of like a memorial service. I don't know, you know?
We got to keep it
like,
going. Yes.
Yeah, this is how cool we were 4 years... Well, you know, this is how we were 4 years ago, and look how, like, you know, much we did. And then it's like, oh, but we don't do that anymore. But it's like, no, we're still doing it. But we've just, yeah, always evolving, like, how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's part of it.
Because, yeah, when we started, it was like, we're going to state park every single weekend. And, like,
just because
you
we
almost...
were doing that.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. It was just, like, a little bit exhausting. It was also exhilarating. Like, it was a really fun time in our lives. Stressful in, like... other areas, but as far as, like, whether to do that, it was a very fun, exciting time. And then, yeah, and then starting to go on some, like, bigger trips, and then getting the van, and then so you go on road trips, and then, you know, and all these things. I feel like it's just, like, evolved, always evolving, really, and we go through, like, phases, kind of. But I guess that's normal in life. And travels and stuff.
But the business kind of changes with the phases. Like I mean, it's all kind of the same. But we also try to adapt to our...
Yeah, what we feel like we can pull off at the time. Like, what bandwidth we have for things. When different ideas come up and we're like, hey, this could work. We could do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now. And that's what our check-in is about. We're just working on some things. Tinkering along.
Yeah.
So that's just a little chapter in the history book of Go There, Do That.
Okay.
That I'm documenting.
Right.
Yeah. Just to check in. We're doing good. But it's not the eye of the storm.
Yeah, I know. Like, I feel... we're recording this podcast now. I feel, like, pretty calm. And we're, like...
And then you won't see us for a few months.
Yeah, no. Or, like, yeah, we record another one in, like, a week or so, and it'll be, like...
Oh, that's what we
crazy eyes.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just check in.
Yeah, check in 1, check in 2, and then you can just see us get progressively more frazzled.
Yeah. That's what this is. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
so here we are. Today's date for us is July 29th. We have 18 days before we launch Perspectives Reflections, which also kind of marks, like, this new period of, like, where we want to go with Go There, Do That, and consistency. So this is our state of mind and how we look and feel on that day. So we'll see how it progresses.
We'll be all right.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Because we're either going to or we're not. And I really don't want to look stupid, so we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm like too stubborn. I mean, we probably look stupid anyway. I'm sure there's people out there that think we look stupid or that we are stupid or whatever, but I don't know. I don't really care. I don't think I'm stupid right now. So until I decide that, oh well.
Great.
Keep on keeping on.
As I am, so I act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, is there anything else? Yeah. The only context you gave me for this podcast was a check-in.
I just wanted to check in.
Okay.
And you're doing good?
I feel pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Well.
I know that it's right before
everything
the
before
storm.
this
Yeah.
was a soft launch.
Yeah.
We had to collect enough content to post consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And now we did pretty consistently. We can post pretty consistently for a while.
Yeah.
Mark my words. We're going to do it now. We went there. Now we're going to do that.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like, where's the stuff? What's the story? What's the situation? It's like, okay, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is the whole thing. This is about as much information as I can possibly provide because I'm using just about every video and photo
resource you have. Yeah.
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 While also talking about it on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the story of Go to Do That. It's pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
I think, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously. No. Yeah. We don't think it's that interesting, but we do a podcast and make videos and have a website and we post photos and yeah.
We're out there.
But it's not that interesting.
I don't know. Just be
we
ready.
don't really care too much about it.
The Colorado trailers. Those will be good.
Yeah. I do feel like they're like it's like a level, I don't know, it just feel like a leveled up type of vibe.
Great. That's good.
Mm-hmm. They're very, the draft I've seen, I was like, oh, this is like really ridiculous. Like
got some
very
good
cool.
Stuff. Good stuff there.
We did get a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, it's probably felt the most like a work trip in a sense of like any of the trips we've done, but like in a good way, you know? Like I think I was just like, oh, this is like for work, but also this is a crazy beautiful experience and we're just like getting to enjoy this. But yes, we're going to work at it. We're like, maybe in the past, I'm more like, you know, because sometimes you didn't make videos very quickly about it. So I'm like, I'm just going to sleep in. I'm not going to go on that hike.
Oh, I didn't have.
If I really didn't want to. I'm like, do you have a reason for doing this?
Oh.
But then like with Colorado, it was like, okay, well, I really want to do this. But then also if I don't do it, we won't have that footage. So it's like even more motivation to do it, you know, because there were some hikes that we did where I might not have thought that I could like pull that off. Like it was like above my skill level. But I was like, I got to figure it out. Huh?
You get motivated by the camera?
Nah, I guess like being able to look back on it.
Yeah.
It's more like for me, like I want to watch what this looks like, you know? It's not for like someone else. Like, oh, this is going to look so cool for the, 300 followers we have at the time. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, I like, because I've seen like some of the other videos you've made, like paragliding through the Alps and like just capturing that like joy in that moment and like who I am in that moment. It's like very interesting to see. And I'm like, well, right now I feel like I'm kind of like a little bit fearless, like, together person. And so, yeah, I guess I want to see how that looks.
No pressure.
Yeah.
I captured it.
Like, my confidence is rising, I guess.
We got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
Maybe. Does that make sense? Or do I just sound stupid, crazy?
Traveling and doing things, seeing yourself do things that you didn't previously expect you could do.
That I would do, yeah.
That's empowering to
you.
you.
Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah.
That seems normal.
Hearing you say it out loud like that, I'm like, yes, that's what I'm saying. I was just making sure that it was conveyed that way.
Yeah. Okay. So,
or if I'm just like, I like seeing myself.
Well, if your brain is ever, which some may have an issue with this, thinking, oh, I'm not capable of doing this thing in life.
Mm-hmm.
But say you do that a couple of times, every now and then you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look back on it and you're like, oh, I remember.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if I get in a slump, and then I'm like, yeah, but remember this girl? Like she. Oh, hello.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
So, it's cool. Just remember experiences you've had. Yeah. Not obsessively, because it is art.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it helps me too because I'm really bad about like not remembering things very well. Like I'll just remember like kind of a general vibe, but I don't always like remember. So like, yeah, a couple of years from now, I could be thinking back on this time in my life and be like, oh no, I think, oh, you must have been feeling this or blah, 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 or you weren't very active, or you weren't doing this. But then it's like you look back on the proof and it's like, no, you were like doing well in this time of your life.
That's good.
Yeah.
You doing well now?
I feel like I'm doing well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it feels weird because I don't know if I've ever felt like I'm doing well as consistently as I've been feeling that lately. Just like getting a lot less hard on yourself, like, I don't know, focusing on like what you are doing rather than like what you think you should be doing,
That's good. That's a good mindset.
Okay.
That's a good check-in.
Okay.
Way to go.
Yeah, I probably overshared.
No.
So.
Well, you're the co-anchor. So you get to say...
How are you doing? Do you feel like how are you feeling like you're doing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole thing with the house moving. Right before. Imagine...
Your metaphor.
Yeah.
We're not really moving.
Well, imagine that feeling. Yeah, we're not really moving. The metaphor from before with all the boxes and you're about to move, right?
Yes.
And you sit down on the couch one last time and look around. And so continuing that, imagine the feeling of you having to go outside and then push the house to where you're going.
Oh.
That's not how I feel. I'm just saying imagine that.
Why?
So what anticipating things can also do is make it feel like the task is a lot larger
than it is.
Than it really is.
Okay.
And so then you can say, oh, shoot. But once you're in it, you're like, this is better than, because, you have like it spread across multiple days. But I used to think about things in terms of how many you have to do, but not that you can do them at a separate time. It's only in the future.
Yeah.
So anything I ever have to do is just in the future. But if you're able to think about your time a little more scheduled out, it's like, oh, I'm doing that this day and this day.
Yeah.
And it's not
It doesn't feel so monumental.
It's not a house you're trying to move.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the time, because it's a similar, like, acknowledgement and feeling that I've had plenty of times in my life where you're like, oh, this is like the calm before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're about to get really busy.
Yeah.
And most of the time when that happens for me, I just freeze and I like spiral into, usually like a anxious depression.
Oh.
Because like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is coming. Like it feels like it's like coming for you. And then, I still pull myself out of it and get it done. But it's usually very painful. But like right now I'm recognizing that there is like a lot coming, but I'm also I'm like realizing that, hey, like you've gotten it done all the other times, where normally I'm like, you can't do this, like you're a failure. But then it's like, in reality, think of all, like you've been through this, not exactly, but it's like you always just like figure it out. So like you're going to figure it out. So I actually feel the calm part before the storm, where normally it's just like me starting to ramp up and spiral before the storm and making the storm worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh, I actually feel calm right now. I know it's coming, but I'm not like dreading it. I'm in the moment, present now, and like appreciating what I have right now, where I'm like, I appreciate this calm before the storm.
That's good. Yeah, I just figured I'd make a podcast about it.
Yeah.
That's how I express things sometimes.
Yeah.
I might do that more often.
Yeah.
Just have little thoughts and be like, hey, yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. As long as it's about go do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has to be on brand.
Right.
On topic. But.
Well, we're not great at staying on topic, but.
Nope.
That's okay.
It's pretty personal.
Yeah.
So it covers
a lot. If you've made it this far into our podcast, you're probably, unless you just like stumbled across this one and this is your first one, for the 3 people that listen consistently, you're probably used to this stream of consciousness, but
just getting it out there.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's all coming. Making things happen for ourselves. And we're in another art show.
Oh, yeah.
At the Downtowner. That was our first collaboration with another artist ever, with Lee Adams. We had a picture of Kenai Fjords in Alaska. This would never been printed before. We printed it out at a local printer, Art Direct, Austin. But printed half of it. Lee Adams came in, painted half of it. And we submitted it to a show.
It's really cool.
And then it got accepted into a show, and now it's showing. But I haven't been over there because it got put there
while we were in Colorado, yeah.
And then
I thought about I got coffee with Dana.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, and we were like right there, but I was like, oh, it's Saturday, they're not open.
Oh, they weren't open,
yeah. Yeah. So we'll have to go see it in person. I've seen it in person already, but seeing it in the gallery will be fun.
Yeah. And that's that.
All right.
We also got some really cool elk photos in Colorado.
Yeah.
So that will be unveiled in an interesting way, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get it into a show before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, though. We'll see if we can get it all done in time.
Yeah. I guess we'll check in next week. And it'll just be like our progress through our
weekly check-ins.
Maybe
that sounds.
It might be interesting.
I mean, we should just keep
some of it next. I mean, yeah, it might just be like. I mean, it could even be like quick. Yeah, depending on how stressed we are, it's just going to be like us staring at each other's.
Let's try that.
Or into space,
let's try
but
it.
We'll try it. Yeah, and
let's
then you can literally see the progress.
Okay.
And what it's doing to us.
We'll just keep calling these check-ins.
Yeah, just as check-in 1.
Check-in 1. All right. Come back next time for check-in number 2. We'll check in later.
Yeah, we'll see how we're feeling next week because we'll have started. Because it'll be August, and that's go time.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're hyping up.
Yeah, no more sitting around. But we can sit around and talk on a podcast because it still is,
No more sitting around. I wanted to sit around. That's why I did the
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it might even be good for us to. I mean, right now it's fine, but good for us to do in a week.
Yes.
And then the next week to, ground ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a science experiment documenting 2 people trying to.
This whole thing definitely feels like a science experiment.
Like have a business together, what it does.
Yeah.
2 people.
Yeah.
So. Could always take up juggling.
Yeah. Yep. At this point, if you change your mind about all of this, I'm gonna be mad because I like it too.
Especially if it's juggling.
Especially if it's juggling.
Okay, that's all, folks. We'll see you. See you next time. Thanks.
Sound like Bugs Bunny. That's all, folks.
That's Porky Pig.
Oh, you're right.